So surrender to the master means that you hand over yourself to the master and you give a unequivocal authority letter to the master to say, do what you please. Do what you deem fit. I shall not complain, protest. I will not fight. I will not get upset, angry with what you're going to do to me. Because you know what is best for me. You know what is for my higher good. You know that what I am capable of. How the hell would I know what I can do and what I can achieve? Because when I think from my mind and then my ego speaks. And my worst enemy is my ego. But I cannot live without ego also. I need some ego, otherwise I cannot survive. So, and the master knows what is good ego, what is bad ego, and what needs to go and what needs to remain. But what do? We start using our mind even when we surrender to the Guru. We are always trying to show how clever we are, how much we know, and then the first thing that the master does for a person who starts to say he's too clever, the master starts to bash that person up. Till you submit yourself and say that I know nothing. I am zero, my Lord. Because unless and until he says, if your cup is full, then do not come to me. I cannot give anything to you because you are not ready to receive anything. So surrender has to be complete, cannot be conditional, cannot be part-time, cannot be when I like it and when I don't like it, it should be when I like it, it is on, and when I don't like it, I switch it off. You either hand yourself to the master and then you allow the master to do what the master has to do. Because the master has seen the sculpture. The master has seen the masterpiece in us, not in somebody else. But master needs a free hand. The master will chip, will sculpt, will hammer, will grind, will polish. So if you're looking for, as somebody, keeps saying, I want only love, I want only gentleness, I want, only this, then I will respond. I'm sorry, you do not put conditions to your master to say, I want this. You want this, then stay at home. Okay? Get a puppy dog who you can, keep, because the puppy dog is the only thing that you keep giving love, it will just keep licking you. If that's what you want, then get a poodle and enjoy that. But if you want to experience the truth of yourself, then it has to be surrender. There is no conditionalities in this. You want it or you don't want it. Then what you get is what you deserve. So this has to be understood. Either don't surrender. It's okay. Who wants you to surrender? But if you do, then you must understand what surrender is. Somebody asked me yesterday, can you please send me a quote on surrender? The night I was thinking about it and I said, where the mind ends, surrender begins. Because as long as the mind is on, it will never allow us to surrender. And the mind is so full of itself, so full of what it has learned, its experiences, its judgments. Our biggest enemies are judgments. You tell somebody, like we just had a conversation on the tea table. I just said something, but minds, created the next part of it. Because that's how the minds work. You give them something, they will add 2 and 2 together. The biggest story maker in this universe is our mind. And I keep checking, with at home when whoever is doing sadhana with me, I just check them. Stop. Now you're making a story. We are told only this much. Then we start adding. So, on the path of this journey of experiencing the self, we have to be very alert, watchful. That where the mind starts to take over, where consciousness leaves and the mind starts to take over. Mind is very essential, please. I want to talk about it, and we'll keep talking about in the next few days. We are not supposed to be mindless idiots. Mind is very important. Mind is absolutely essential when we have to perform our tasks. But mind is not the instrument that we have to use to decide what needs to be done. The decision has to come from consciousness or your heart. That is where the prompting comes for you to do things. And mind is required to execute it perfectly. Right? So mind is very important. But we have to use the mind. The steering wheel has to be in the hands of consciousness or the heart, and mind is then takes you where you need to go. But if you let mind start taking the decisions, then it takes you in a completely different direction. So that's what is the understanding, and this understanding comes as we start living with the master on a moment-to-moment basis. When you understand what this flow is, how things become effortless. Where we learn how not to do things too early and how not to do things too late. How to reach everywhere just on time and neither too early nor too late. How you don't overdo and how you don't underdo is a sense of balance. You're like a trapeze artist. You're like a gymnast whose sense of balance is perfect. And that comes with nididhyasana. That comes with practice. And when you're doing practice, you should be ready to fall, flounder, make mistakes, but you have to pick yourself up, laugh over it, and then you start again. Yeah? Like the kid does. What does the kid do? When the kid is playing, it is enjoying, first of all. When the kid plays, a child plays, it enjoys. But sometimes while playing, the child falls. It gets hurt. If the child sees that somebody else is watching it, then it will start to howl. Right? But if it starts to cry and sees that there is nobody there, it will just start up and start playing again. Okay? So that crying is that actually, that is where the ego starts to come in. The child's ego is hurt that somebody is watching and I am fallen. It starts to cry. So it's very interesting how mind starts to, come in. So if we are playing and if we are falling, then we don't mind it. But in real life, if we fall, we mind it. We start calling names, we start calling, we start becoming, there is a stake, there is an ego that is really badly hurt, because as you grow up, ego becomes so big. How did you do this? Why did you do this? We start calling. Listen, this is an illusion. I know you guys are going through various things with various people in life, but I'll tell you, it's all your creation. Do not put it on to others. We deserve all the relationships that we have in life. We have actually deserved them. We have called them in our lives to learn a certain lesson. Please focus on the lesson and release them. Do not get caught into calling people things and names, because till you don't clear it out, you're caught in this world. You'll have to come back again. Everything has to end in a beautiful understanding and a beautiful separation, and a beautiful light has to come. Then every relationship can be turned around with love. But if we judge, if we hold something, if we do not fully cleanse and clear, then there is a challenge. And remember that when we hold things, its first thing it does is it impacts our health. And your body is actually the barometer and indicator of what's going on with you. So our consciousness, remember, because everything we are using this, the consciousness is flowing through this body. The body is a vehicle. Somebody says it's a vehicle, somebody says it's a garment, whatever term you want to use. But it's a carrier of this consciousness. And when this consciousness, if the consciousness only knows how to flow, because energy is always there and energy is flowing all the time. Wherever there is a block of energy, that is where the body will start creating disease, a discomfort. So whenever there's a discomfort, you should know something is going on. What do? We overlook it, we ignore it, we keep overlooking it. And then we start creating these more and more problems, right? Anything that you do not deal with becomes a bigger problem, whether it's emotionally or whether it is physically. Whatever you ignore becomes bigger. In Atma Chalisa, I have shared this, and my experience has been, never take shortcuts in life. Never try to avoid the difficult conversations that you need to have. Because ultimately you will have to. Today what do we do? Whenever we need to have a difficult situation that we need to face, or a difficult conversation we need to make, what do? We run away from it. Keep it aside, don't do it. But what happens? It keeps building. Actually, by the day it becomes even more tougher. It's all in your head that it is a difficult conversation. Because you are uncomfortable. But you put it on the other person and say it's difficult. It's actually not difficult. If you are happy and at ease with it, it becomes easier. But you project it on the other person that it's because of the other person's responses why it is going to be difficult. No, the other person is just a mirror in front of you. So it's in our hands. Everything is in our hands. The other person, poor person, is only a mirror, and we are seeing our reflection back. You may deny it, you may not agree with me, but I'll tell you that is the only reality, because in this universe, nothing else other than us exists. It's just one consciousness, right? So, the day we are able to perceive and understand this, and the day you start practicing with whatever experience you're getting, I give you a very simple answer and a solution. Go inside and see what you need to shift. What is it that you're still doing that is bringing that experience back to you? Yeah? And I again always say, if you don't trust me, if you don't believe me, come and stay with me and look at my life and see how it goes. See, what is a Gurukula? What is a place where a guru lives? It's a demonstration center. It's a place where you are able to see every day, morning to night, how it flows. And when you live in that flow and you see everything flowing like this, then you realize there must be a trick, no? And that trick is not to let this mind, come in, but the mind, and you've seen me work also. You've seen me execute what I need to execute. When I execute, there is a super brain that works, in execution also. Yes? I think all of you have worked with me. So, it's not that I'm a crazy, chaotic fellow who does not use his brains at all, or his mind at all. I do. But I understand that there is a difference. And so consciousness appears to us as awareness. This awareness keeps going up. And this awareness communicates to all of us in silence. So today at 5 o'clock we had to come here, and before that we wanted some task had to be accomplished in the market. But the car was not with me, the car was here. I said, these people are already tired, so I will not say anything. If it happens, then we'll do it tomorrow. And I left it at that. I was not resting, but I was thinking that the others need rest. And then, I see a message that has come to me saying that you had to go there. What time should we come and we'll go there? Right? I'm saying that consciousness is doing all that work. I am thinking about them, they are thinking about me. Yeah? How does that happen? What is that? I want you to start examining these things. This is manana. And how does this principle work? There must be something which communicates. That is consciousness. And this consciousness, as we keep becoming more and more aware, it starts to operate. It is received by everyone. There is one uniform field, energetic field, in which a message is carried. But if on the other side, if the receiver is not aware, they will not receive that message. So that's why as we are growing together in our sadhana, we are all starting to rise. For example, if anything happens to me, energetically, I think the first person who gets to know is Kuntavi here. And she'll message me, everything okay? I'm experiencing something in me. How are you doing? So where does that come from? It's tuning in. You're getting more and more tuned in. So it starts to happen when you start to get into that field of unitary consciousness. It is not diverse consciousness. It's not that my consciousness is separate from Sir's consciousness. You see that when the child comes into this world, the bearer of the child is the mother. It's the mother who nourishes and nurtures the child for 9 months in her womb. Right? So that bond that gets created between the child and the mother at that point of time remains. And they are actually attached together through the umbilical cord. And the umbilical cord is attached to the navel. Even though when at birth the umbilical cord is cut, the attachment, the physical attachment is gone, but actually through the navel the attachment still remains. I've shared this in the past. The source of our consciousness actually is in our navel. Our navel is the most sensitive organ in the entire human body. Maximum number of nerves and blood vessels actually come into the navel. Right? This navel center, if it is not fully aligned, if your Manipura chakra is out, then your body will always be out of balance. Okay? So through the navel is the source of consciousness, and it connects like a GPS into the whole. It's like a GPS, it's moving like this and it is connecting. And mother's GPS with the child is already connected. It's like during the birth, the mother and child's GPS is fitted. So that is one antenna it always picks up. But we have to start moving our consciousness in such a way, it's not just the mother and child. You are able to pick up consciousness like this with everybody. So when Satya Sai Baba or any of the masters, when they come to you in a darshan where thousands are sitting, how is it that Baba can come to that person and exactly ask and tell what's going on with that person? What works is that in this field of consciousness, everything actually is we are all connected with that energetic field, which is what we call as consciousness. And there, you are not connected to it, but the receiver is connected, which is a realized soul. And the realized soul, the minute it comes, it actually everything flashes. Okay, I did not understand this myself, but I started to experience it. That when I realized, I used to wonder, how come he remembers everything? I used to get fascinated. How does he know and how does he remember everybody? Actually, he doesn't remember anything. The minute he comes, he can read everything. It's like reading an open book. So that's how everything is in the energetic field of consciousness. So as we start raising our awareness up, we start tapping into it. It's very beautiful. And at the base of it is what? See, because the whole consciousness operates from the thought principle. The whole karmic chain starts from the thought, not from your action. Because thought is the seed of the action. So if you want to correct it, if you want to change it, it has to be done at the thought level. And then we say that we are practicing living Trikaran Shuddhi, which is that what you think, what you say, and what you say is what you do. So it's an alignment between your thoughts, words and actions. Now, the next level of your evolution is that once you have started to work on this alignment between thought, word and action, the next step is to start purifying your thoughts. So that what will come through you will be pure action and you will start vibrating on a different frequency. Remember, we were talking the first day about energy and frequency. Because ultimately, what are we? Simply, scientifically, we are EFV. Energy, frequency and vibration. Because that's how the whole of world is created at a scientific level. So, when we are in the tamas, when our energy is dense, our molecules are not very pure, they are actually vibrating at a very low frequency. And therefore, our body condition is a state of laziness, rest. It's in that. The minute we are doing sadhana, we are doing meditation, we are into chanting, our frequency starts going up. Okay, so we move through different states of consciousness in a day. When we sleep, we are in tamas, right? When we meditate, we are into sattva. When we are performing our actions, we go into rajas. Our frequency of our body also during the day keeps varying, right? For masters who are in a very high state of consciousness, their energy of their bodies even during sleep and night, it's very high as compared to the others. That's why, some of you are able to sleep very nicely. There are some people like me who sleep very little now because the body is in such a state of vibration and energy that, with small little sleep is also good. And you start experiencing all this. So, as our thoughts start becoming purer and purer, when you start to think about samasta loka, I learned this from my master, that if you want to pray for someone, as somebody made a request for somebody, I have stopped praying for somebody specifically. At that moment, the only prayer that comes to my mind instantly is Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu, Samasta Loka Sukhino. Because the highest prayer in this universe is Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. That's why in our Vedic mantras we have Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya. Whether I chant anything else or not, I will always chant this Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Because as a child, I learned this and I believe that this is so powerful, this mantra. Because this is where you're not praying for yourself. You are actually praying for welfare of the entire humanity. You are saying they should be happy, they should be healthy, they should actually prosper. Why should I keep asking for my prosperity and my health? And it has become an automatic process now. It's one consciousness. Na? If we keep saying one consciousness, but we do not live in that one consciousness, right? Then what is the use? If our actions are not, we can give sermons and we can give talks. But how do you live this one consciousness? How do you live this one reality? It has to come through every thought of yours, but if it is not practiced actually. So that's what we are doing. We are constantly doing, and that is what is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. We are listening to our master. We are understanding what the master is saying. We are reflecting upon it, that how do I bring it into my life? How do I practice what my master is saying? And I think upon it and then I start practicing. It's okay, even if it doesn't work, but keep practicing. But at least you're doing something about it. You remember, master has not said that you should do it for a certain result. The master just says something, just do it. Whether you get it or you not get it. Like, he was saying, I'm not getting the experience. I'm doing everything. As long as master has not said, you bother about what you're going to see those visions, you're going to have the energetic experience. Did he tell you? No. He said, just do what I am asking you to do. If I'm saying sit and meditate, just sit and meditate. Whether it is happening or not, you are just listening to the master. But what do we do? Oh, no. We start comparing. We start, doing our own things. Just follow, no. It's like that story of a guy being told to carry the water from the river in a cane basket where it is full of leaks. So, if we get into that understanding, there is something already happening behind. There's something is already shifting. You may not understand it, you may not perceive it, but in any case, you should not bother about it. You should just do what your master has told you. Because what did he say? My life is my message. If you have trust if you have a faith in your master, then the master will take you everywhere. Master is like that mother, or let's say mother and father, parents. What does a parent want? Every parent wants that their child should be better than them. That's the beauty about parents. When I looked at my father, mother, they wanted me to be better than them. And I see now I'm a parent and I want my children to be better than me. And I'm so happy when I get to know, my child is doing well. I feel so happy. And now I realize how happy my father used to be about, me being successful. And so the guru is like that parent. He's beyond that parent. He is selflessly working on honing each one of us. He's working constantly, tirelessly, 24/7 to become better than even himself. Every guru wants that a shishya should be better than him. Whatever mistakes the guru made, he wants to make sure the shishya doesn't make that mistakes. And that's why he keeps pushing and probing. So if you really are interested in experiencing that self-realization, then whoever is your guru, just surrender completely. Don't have it conditionally. Don't surrender conditionally and say, this bit I will do, the other bit I will not do. Because, and when you choose your guru, you choose your master, make sure that your guru is a selfless guru, who is not thinking of himself or herself and is wanting some benefit out of you. And once you have chosen, then just like a child, hold the hand of the guru and say, please lead me. And then on the path, don't put your conditions, and then don't put your likes and dislikes. And I learned from my master this thing, that do not ever, on the journey of following a master, do not have an escape route. Do not have an exit plan. do not have a backdoor escape route. Because if you do, then you'll run away. Because when the minute that things get tough, you run away, you escape. No. Life is a one-way street. Once you start moving, there's no returning back. And so he told me, cut everything and then come. Finish everything, detach and then come. I don't want you to come, today and, the first sign of hardship you run away and you escape from there. So, you go on and then only you will know what is the grace of the Master, what can he do to a person who is now sitting on the chair of a Guru in front of you, started the journey along with you and used to be as one of you. I did nothing, I can tell you. Everything that I am today is because of my Master's grace. Because he chose me. Who am I to choose him? I loved him. But most important was that he loved me. So to be able to experience that love of the Guru and that the Guru should love us, all that the Guru is looking for, what is it that Guru is looking from a disciple or a student, is the earnestness, this yearning, this mad yearning. That's all. That's the only qualifying criteria. Yearning. So therefore, in the 9 steps to divinity, this is where we say this journey starts with that yearning. And the more you yearn, the more you get. If you are satisfied, they say this is only for those who are really hungry, who haven't had a meal for a few days, right? You ask them what hunger is, what food is. That the more hungry you are, the more you will enjoy it. The more you would want it. But if your stomach is already full, you have everything in life, you have all the comforts in this world, then you don't want to. You want to do it, as a hobby. Okay. And then you're happy with it. Because that doesn't ask you to sacrifice anything. That's why, there's this question comes many times from Westerners especially. That why the Indian path, the Indian gurus, talk of giving things up. Why do they talk of an austere life or a simpler life? It's only because of this. It's just to build this yearning in you. There are very few, who at that level, who have everything and yet have that yearning. They just get lazy and comfortable and, because what is the use? Everything is provided for you. There is no incentive unless you are an old, soul who's come in ready for that. We're very comfortable. Everything is going well. Why? What is the need? So, that is the reason why hardships come in our life. That's why troubles come in our life. It's only to awaken us and say, was going wrong direction. Come in. Change. This is not what it is for you. Hold on. And as I've said many times, I have seen the Master. In my life, I've seen my Master changing my entire blueprint of my life. He's proved all the astrologers. I am a clear example of astrologers going wrong completely. Whatever was put in by the best of the astrologers of how my life should go, my life has gone like this. Because my Master chose me. And the Master chose and he said, change. So, it's beautiful, no? And the Master carves you. The Master decides things for you. Okay? Why don't we, now do a little bit of sharing about our experiences in our sadhana and, how and where some things shifted and changed, right? Again, because we have to see that what we are talking of actually is beginning to make a difference in our lives.